even when we talk about taking laws, because you see, we've said we cannot legislate morality.
Right.
Morality is very difficult to legislate.
Yes.
When you talk about laws without fixing the environment, because you look at the people you mentioned something which is we used to talk about peer pressure.
Right.
These days it's not about peer pressure, it's about the role model pressure.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
the people that you want to associate with are people who are doing the wrong things. When you talk about the things that happen even in Clemania here, you're seeing people calling themselves businessmen. No, they don't have any job. They do 8 to 5. You know, they have, you know, they have nothing they do basically. They wake up at 10 a.m., play videos, come out with their sandals and their sweatpants and roam around town with their big cars. These are the people who are inspiring the young boys. You know, when these guys are moving around there, these are the guys they see driving the big cars that they see.
Right.
They don't see the bankers who are leaving the house to walk into the matatu.
Right.
The women are not looking at the people that you mentioned, like someone like Yvonne Okwara or the other person. The other women who are doing great things with their lives. The little cars don't see that. They see that. I mean, they don't see those guys who are doing the right things. They see those guys who are probably slaying on Instagram and the other places, showing all the wrong places, talking about how to be more beautiful, how to get men to each man, how to hide your behinds and your bust and all those things. How do we fix the environment? Because we cannot legislate morality. We cannot say let's make a constitution for morality and say, okay, this is how you're going to behave.
Right.
When we are not fixing the environment. How do we start fixing the environment for our children? Because we live in the same estate with these people. The same Yvonne Okwara and the other person, probably, let's say, I don't want to mention names because they are lawsuits these days, but we know them. These slay queens and all that. They live in the same estate. Yvonne Okwara probably walks out of her house and gets into an Uber. Well, the other one comes out at 10 a.m. with a tumbo cut and all that, with a body that's nicely shaped, steps into a Range Rover. Your daughter is sitting on the balcony. How do you fix the environment for you to deal with that?
That is why, like as a parent, you need to talk to your children about value and the power of process. The power of process makes the prize durable. When you don't go through the process, you will not have a durable prize. What am I talking about? These slay queens, you heard of this girl in Nigeria, from Nigeria, and she went open about it. She went to Dubai and on business class and took photos, and everybody commented. But when she went back home, what did she say? That when she got there, her friend introduced her to something, and they put a deposit of $10,000, and they said they'll give you the balance later. When she got there the first night, they were taken for dinner. She posted all those things, but from the second day, she stopped posting. Why? Every night she was being molested by men, 7 men at a time. And on the last one now she was told, for us to give you a deposit, this is the final one. And she goes back to the room after dinner and she finds polythene on top of her mattress. And she wondered, okay, fine, this is some kinky stuff. But anyway, I've dealt with 7 men in this last week. This is the one last night. I get my balance of $10,000.
Wow.
But this time 7 men don't come in. One man comes in and says, open your mouth. And the man poo-pooed in her mouth. Now, when she was traveling there, all these young girls were posting and liking and saying, wow, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
You're living the life.
Would you want people to poo-poo in your mouth? So bring the value system. Tell our children the ills of these things. Tell the children it is okay to work hard. The power of process makes the prize durable. Yes, you cannot legislate morality, but the government can put some checks and balances. I remember, I think it's Tanzania or Uganda, one of the public figures posted something on Instagram, almost like soft porn with her boyfriend. She was thrown in jail. What does that say? It says, anybody else who does this, we will throw you in jail. You understand? So other people will now tread carefully because our children are seeing this nonsense. Yes. I
also saw Museveni, 2 guys who are gay. If you guys think you're doing the right thing, aren't you to stay in jail until you get pregnant?
I wish them all the best. I don't know if they need family
planning.
planning.
If you guys think this is the right thing that you're doing,
yes,
we're putting you in jail, you're going to be together.
Yes.
When you get pregnant, someone will release you. What a test.
I wish them all the best. But we have now, Mr. Gerald, things are so bad that if we continue ignoring this issue, I say it again, the 15-year-olds now, 16-year-olds now, in 10 years, are the ones who are supposed to take over the baton to take this country forward.
And we'll be creating crooks.
It is painful to think about it. It is painful.
Yeah.
And as parents, let's also not be too perfect. Let's tell our children we blundered.
Yeah.
Like my book here. Man, it's a crazy book.
Yeah.
And I've dedicated it to my daughter. I've undressed myself.
Wow.
But before I printed it, my daughter read it through. showing the mistakes that I did and the pits that I fell into. And I told her, don't make these mistakes. You may not have a chance like I did. Some of us were given 1,000 chances by God. But the moment you give them the information, you may not have the same chances. So I'm a believer that we have to talk. I've not seen, even in this season, to be honest, people having conferences. Today, if you go to a corporate entity and tell them, could you please sponsor me? I want to have a youth seminar. You know what most will tell you?
Yeah.
But there's nothing in it for us. What will
what's in it for us?
The youth don't have spending power.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that a few corporates will stand up to be counted and say, you know what? We will be on the forefront of partnering with people who want to talk to these young people. And I'm hoping that can happen in December. Because December is waiting for our children like a dragon with the mouth wide open.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Let me read out some comments hapa kidogo so that tuweze kuchangia pia. Kuna Marilyn Samuel anasema the issue is having sex and taking drugs has been made to look cool. If you are not in the mix, you ain't cool. What do you have to say about that?
The what?
She's saying, he's saying the issue is having sex and taking drugs has been made to look cool. If you're not in the mix, you ain't cool.
Yes, and
that's what has been, even in the adverts. Adverts are sexized.
Yes.
Sexized. You know, music is sexized. I mean, you cannot sing without having a girl shaking around. And these are things. I saw a child the other day. I don't know if you saw it. There was a child, man, who was talking like nobody's business. A small kid, I think 3 years old or 4 years old.
And I saw that. And think about it this way. When you see the videos of kids talking, the person who was holding the phone was a grown person.
Yeah.
Recording to trend. Maybe an uncle, maybe even a parent. That person, before we deal with that child, we must deal with a grown man. Imagine me holding a phone and somebody's talking. What am I thinking? I should be disciplining that child, imparting some knowledge and wisdom that will make them have a better tomorrow. Now, when you go on social media, those are the things people like. Look, just do a quick Instagram walkabout today and go to some of these pages that show some crazy stuff. I'll kid you not. Somebody sent me a page that is for children, that when you join in, they teach you matter sex. I have sent a request for me to join in so that I see what they're doing. There's a page called Kati Gang. Kati Gang. It already had 10,000 followers, but the account is private. I'm told that they're targeting young children. When they go there, they start talking to your daughters and to your sons. And let me tell you what happens. And I'm going to say this, and I'm sure it's going to shock some people.
Shock us.
Some parents take the children to the malls and say, I'm going to drop you at 10, I'll pick you up at 3. And then at 11 o'clock, they take a selfie. We are here having ice cream. Oh, my kid is fine. My kid is fine. From 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, they don't get in touch with you because they're having fun in the mall. We don't realize they're not in the mall.
Wow.
They have been picked by some grown men. And they're being molested after being given drugs. And then at 3:30, they're taken back to the mall.
For you to pick them up 4 p.m.
And you pick them up. Buju. Nonsense.
Daddy, mommy.
Oh, boy, buju. Oh, buju. You're a good child. What a good child. To raise these children, my brother Gerald, you must be 50 steps ahead of them. You must understand. The chances that they're on social media with fake accounts. Your child is called Caro, but on Instagram, she's True Forza.
She's Carolita.
Yes, you know all those things. So just know they're watching. Just know these things are happening. Be 10 steps ahead of them.
All right. Joel Arama asked, Gerald Bito kindly ask Mr. Burale, what about the hyenas hiding in churches?
Oh, yes. That's the truth of the matter. You don't trust somebody with your child because they're lifting their holy hands. Or the devil wears Prada, the assassin also smiles. So even in the church, the devil has his agents.
Wow.
Some kids have been messed up by pastors, by spiritual leaders. It's the truth of the matter. But those are not the real ones. But don't let those bad ones make you feel like the church is rotten. No, the church of God will still stand. But there are others who are masquerading so that they gain the trust and they go for the kill. Yeah.
So how do we deal with these people?
For me, if that's why as parents, we need to cultivate a relationship with our children that they can be open with us. And if a child comes and tells you, imagine this guy, this mzee tried this on me. And that can only happen if you create that environment. And then when that happens, these people must be put to book. Because as long as they're not put to book, they will go and tell their other friends who are like-minded, guess what? I've been doing this for 2 years and I'm getting away with it. Yeah. And then it's like network marketing. They grow in their networks. And as they grow in their networks, our children are in more danger.
Wow. That's interesting to see. Tulikuwa tunasikia kuna watu walikuwa wanafanya smuggling ya wasichana pia back then. You know, it's a crazy convenient to have. Anyway, Obed Musumbi says Robert Burale totally agree. The church needs to courageously teach and guide on sexuality with sound doctrine on the topic, not to avoid for youth discover.
And Obed is somebody who teaches a lot on parenthood. He has a grace for that. Wow. And I hope that many people can listen to him.
He should come in even soon. He should come in soon.
He's graced in talking about family and parents. Yes, so it's somebody I think you need to have.
Yeah, we should have him. We expand this discussion on parenthood.
Yes.
Obed Musumbi, tafadhali contact me so that we can have a conversation.
Yes.
Ukuje utuambie mambo ya uzazi vipi, you know, and actually he has a top fan.
Right.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Obed Musumbi. I think he has been here long enough. Daniel Murkoma says live coach Robert Burale creates a conversation about contemporary issues affecting our society. Tells of the unspoken truths and how we have been compromised but still choose to live in oblivion. It would be an enlightening experience to read the book, probably getting coach insights and best practices as I navigate through life. Yes. Acha maneno yako kama utapata kitabu.
I have another one in the car.
There's another one in the car that's for you.
You got to give Mr. Murkomen.
Yes. Murkomen Burale has given you a book in the car. Mekupea gari ile ilikuwa imewekwa kando kidogo, labda ilikuwa na safari, lakini sasa kwa sababu umeongea hiyo imekuwa yako. Ezibar Moiben sama good morning Gerald, we are a parent, we have gone wrong. We left our children to house managers, kindergarten, boarding schools, all the way to university. The only time we spend together is during maternity leave and during this COVID-19 pandemic. Corona ndio anasema tunawabo. By the way, let's look at this. Parents are struggling to stay with their children. They are saying shule zifunguliwe waende. I mean, at what point did we delegate our parental responsibility to teachers and schools and all these other people?
Mr. Bitok, we are too busy investing for our children.
Yes.
But we're not investing in our children. That is why even when God calls parents home and they leave a lot of wealth for their children that we invested, it's blown up in the smoke because we didn't invest in the children. We think children are a bother. Why? We have become too busy. We have to go watch football. We have to go watch football. Or sijui Man U, Arsenal. Ladies, you are in 6 chamas. And there are only 4 weekends in a month. So every weekend you're out. Every weekend you're out. So who is raising your children? Social
you go
media.
And drop kids in the malls and disappear.
Yes, social media. And they're exposed to other things because you think giving them free Wi-Fi, an iPad will keep them busy. Your presence is more important than your presence.
Yeah. That's interesting to see. Umesikia sasa bwana Mweben watu wakupeleka watoto boarding ndio watoke nyumbani, but parents have been struggling with being with their children over corona period. Even spouses have been struggling being with each other. It's a crazy world we live in. Anyway, naona Nancy and some of the power of the process make the price durable. Hallelujah. Amen. The power of the process make this is what they need to teach our girls.
Yes.
You know that the more you work for things, the better it becomes. Yes. There's a culture, hata kabla sijaendelea na comments. Hii story ya sponsor. Every girl these days is looking for us. Kuna mtu aliniandikia juzi message akaniambia, kuna wasichana wanatafuta sponsor. I mean, what's going on? Watu kama kina Dagi ate wana kakitu. There's this thing like, if you are dating, you have to date Burale.
Right.
Who probably can give you this and this. There's a new culture that's coming up on sponsors. People are saying, no, I cannot date boys my age and an older person because they can take care of me.
Yes.
This and this. It's a culture that's catching. I mean, even the older guys as well are running with it. And even the girls themselves are ensnaring. When I go to these hotels, the other day I was at, I would not want to remember, but anyway, Radisson. I was at Radisson, Radisson, the other side of Boretam, the new Radisson. And you find very small girls dressed in short skirts, cross their legs on the coaches. You can probably see these guys are not with anybody. They're just hanging around, because that's where older men go and have a drink and all that. After you have two, you start seeing the daughter of Jezebel and you're like, well, this is what I've been waiting for. And it's a culture, it's a trap that even these small girls are setting. How do we deal with this culture?
Jesus Christ. It's before we think, because the sponsor thing is about financial elasticity. Sponsors are usually people with deep pockets. But it's not, before I think money, think poverty, I go to the value system. Even if you're a billionaire and you're married, why do you have to go pick a small girl because she has her legs crossed and her Thailand is showing? It's a value system. The moral fabric of our society has been compromised. And we need to get to a place that we speak to our young people, because they don't want to date incomplete people, as they say. For you to get a good man, you must see where he's going. But they want the complete. And let me tell any lady right now, he will never ever leave his wife for you. The biggest lie that you're told is that my wife and I are going through hell. Within time I will leave her. And you think that you're enjoying right now.
I'm here for the kids.
Yes. And do you know what? You may be 22 right now, but you'll get to 30 and you'll be old. And then they will start looking for other 22-year-olds. And by the time you're 30, you will now want somebody to get married to. But that man you ignored 5 years ago
has already built something else.
Another lady saw something in him, and they have built something on their second child. So you'll be left in the category of old slay queen, past sell by date. You get to 40, you're even telling God, give me anything. Yeah, give me anything. I will even take care of the bills. You know, I'll pay for the wedding venue.
What are you gonna learn?
Yes, you know what I'm saying? So I used to tell these people, it's a value system. I go back to the value system. If you have money, money reveals who you really are. If God has blessed you with financial abundance, and then you turn around and the blessing becomes a curse, and you start using that to lure young girls, my goodness, value system, value system, value system. And I insist again, the value system. May we have conversations like this. And we're not speaking from a place of perfection. We're speaking from a place of also wanting to learn. We are all struggling with something. But like the man of David in the Bible, they went into the cave of Adullam. They were dead, discontented, and discouraged. I'm asking people, let's go to the cave of Adullam. And when they came out, the same man, the same Bible refers to them as the mighty men of David. So before we think about our children, let us all go back. Let's all enter the cave of Adullam.
Wow. The same thing is catching up with boy child.
Right.
Naona maboy siku hizi kama vijana wangu hapa kamera, anatembea na mahadhi yako na 43. Anasema mazee mimi sitaki kula ngori. How do you deal with this?
Na wacheki hapa, kwanza hizi look yao hizi. Hizi jeans tight na
ziona. Malukuluku.
Hizi jeans tight ati unaambia mama, kiuno unazungusha.
Tafadhali zungusha kama kishagia Bungoma.
What you got to understand, first and foremost, I want to tell young men, never joke with somebody's wife.
You could not even be older women.
I can pass by your house and collect a shirt because yangu imemwagikiwa na maji. Utanipatia. I can even come. I remember there's a time I was at a function at Norfolk. I forgot my belt. MC Jesse was there as well. I asked him for a belt because as an MC I need to stand. I can patia a belt. But men will never share a woman.
Sure.
Never. Young men. Na hizi jeans zenyu hizi tight. Na ma sweat t-shirts. You know they start shaking their huku juu. Wametoka gym.
Na ma sweat pants nasikia wameweka right.
And then your stronghold must be on your left. You put it on your right for it to bulge. Never, ever joke with somebody's wife. Young men, I want you to know you may not have it now, but if you are armed with vision, value, and integrity, it's just a matter of time that you will get to the apex. Yes.
Before I even asked another question. Grada give us mwachana hiyo maneno. Hiyo anataka kukimbiza kila nani mabazu wa mtaa. Najua hamjui. Right, very very just Robert Burale always on top of some massive endurance some great conversation. Betty and K. Naona amesema ameita Betty Makunga, Betty Elizabeth, Betty Mushoki, Beatrice Ogutu, Lucy Garaka. Anasema come let's tackle about the sweetness of that day. Watching from Thika Kiambu. Asante sana Frank Johnson, I'm a good morning tacklers. Julian from Kwangware. Mr. Brother, please I need a book. Been mentoring young people. and I concur with you. Mercy Gekiel anasema God have mercy. Right. Gagwani anasema youth summit, I vote for this. Dennis Oseko anasema we the parents need to be role models. Senior Oliver Musema anasema senior scribes come let's tackle. Francis anasema kwanza hapo kwa church ndio iko maneno. Anasema kanisani ndio iko mambo. Anasema Dennis Oseko anasema I once seduced a grown up girl and she referred me to talk to a pastor. What do pastors have to do with people's relationships?
Leave me alone. Can we finish this interview, please? No, I'm saying also some of these. I know there's a place of accountability.
Yes.
To your spiritual authority, and I encourage that. But accountability does not open the door to stupidity. Wisdom is the principal thing. And that is why some ladies in church, some boys in church have missed out on their God-given spouse simply because they say, oh, let me fast for 40 days. Now, if 3 men approach you and each man takes 40 days of fasting, that's almost 120 days.
Yeah.
That man will move on. Yes, as pastors, we need to make sure the people that God has given for us to take care of are protected, but it doesn't mean that we need to take over their lives.
Yeah.
We also have to give them space because they have also been given godly wisdom to take care of the affairs of their life. But many people, oh, my pastor said you are not the right man for me. My pastor said, my
Papa.
pastor said.
Say Papa.
Yes.
My Papa said.
But your papa is enjoying his wife. You understand? We need to keep them accountable, but we don't need to take over their lives.
Yeah.
Lady, if a man asks you for a date,
Yeah.
don't now go on a 3-day dry fast. Don't say, Papa, Mama, what do you think? And then they say, I'll get back to you after 21 days, I'm in the mountain. On the 19th day, another lady will accept this man's date. And 6 months later, you'll get an invite to be a committee member of the wedding of the man who had approached you, but you're waiting for somebody to come back from the mountain to tell you if you can go for coffee. Yeah.
Apande mlima ashuka kuambia kama utaenda kahawa na saa hiyo is munching and enjoying the wife. You know, mama anaitwa nani mama. All right. Samuel anasema what then do we do to save this generation? All hope is not lost, but there's a lot of work to be done. If sexual promiscuity among the youth could be curbed in the first place, parents should give their children adequate sex education, and should they fail in their duty, young people will be misinformed by their peers who believe that virginity is no longer the dignity of a young woman. By the way, do we still look at virginity as a sign of dignity?
Sadly, no, but it should be. And I want to tell every young girl, keep your flowers safe. Nobody has ever died for lack of sex, but some people have died because of sex. So keep it safe. No ringy, no tingy. Young man, keep your strongholds to yourself. Zip control. Nobody has ever died for lack of sex. Hata wase na cheka mevuma jeans hapa. Wase wa kiuno hawa. It is okay. You know what? Let me tell you. There is no dishonor in honoring your body.
Wow. Yeah. That's true. All right. Angalia kuna pia tunasema Kipkemba Kimurgo kwa yasema watoto watandikwe, end of story. Lakini watandikaji pia wanafaa kutandikwa. Sasa utashinda nani atatandika, nani anataacha mwingine. Kipkemba watandikaji pia wanafaa kutandikwa.
Right.
Joel anasema how much is the book? Just Joel Arama all the way from the US.
The book is 1,000 shillings.
The book is 1,000 shillings. Robert Arama, Joel Arama na watu wangu wa diaspora. Joel Arama, the book is 1,000 shillings. Emmanuel Kipsansa, please Gerald ask the gentleman Burale that I kindly would like to read his book. May I order a copy? Please, you can order a copy. Unaweza niandikia inbox alafu tutatengeneza haraka upate copy haraka upezi. Mask Off by Robert Burale. Ametoa nguo yote akabaki which
from the strip club to the pulpit.
From the strip club to the strip club to the pulpit. All right.
That's another demon that is taking our young people.
Strip club.
Strip club.
Nini inaendeleanga huko?
Not a Bible study for sure. What happens in the strip clubs and
these guys are laughing. I think to suggest that I know something.
The strip clubs has taken very many young people and has broken many marriages. This is where some spiritual connection happens, demonic. When these women are dancing, they come and sit on your laps, and as they're dancing, they're looking straight into your eyes. And that's where you have a connection. Wow. I tell you, tomorrow you'll go back there.
Unarudi wezi kosa.
They make you feel as if you're the best thing since sliced bread. I'm telling you, you sit there and they walk like a cat. And they're walking, you know, they're walking towards you and their eye is on you. They don't look away. You'll feel
wanakuona direct kwa macho.
You'll feel like you're the BBI himself. And when they sit on you, they're making you feel like all my attention is on you. And men love being treated as kings. Tomorrow utarudi. You'll even go there before they open.
Kabla hajafungua unasema niko hapa na ngoja wafike.
I can sweep the door. I can sweep the entrance. It's very demonic. It takes a higher power to disconnect you from it. And that's why our young people now are dangling with immoral behavior. Our young people are now, I don't know if you've heard of this craze called autoerotic asphyxiation. That's what the young people are doing now.
It's amazing. Alright, nikinataka tafadhali msiende kuangalia kenye mmeambiwa. Unajua sasa inaweza kuwa tunaambia majamaa venye mazuri ndio halafu kesho wanaenda kutafuta hii nini iko wapi. Google Maps. Gauni anasema your presence Kakwandi Arian anasema your presence is more important than your present. That is your presence ni mzuri zaidi kuliko zawadi yako kwa uleaji wa watoto. Sawa powerful coach Arbia, asante sana. Elvis Gudaba anasema Gerald Bitok the book plays a major role in shaping my future. It's a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path. No more gossips and getting fertile information. Thank you Robert. You can as well give one to Abraham Mutai and Robert Alai. Right. Kama goodwill, sign of goodwill. That's what I can just like you issue your malls. I know some who are normally taken to the library in town at 8 a.m. when parents are going to work so as to be picked at 4 p.m. When parents leave job, but actually what happens between 9 and 3 p.m. isn't pleasing. Only God knows. Our Kai library, may God rescue this generation. Wow, it's quite interesting. Naona Masi Kialo anasema value system. Yes, value system is key. Dennis Kasama, we have made it adorable to do things through shortcut. From corruption to get rich quick means, kids have copied us and developed the desire and appetite for a good life. But that's true. Benen Kiasama Gerald Bitok uko nipa car wash voucher yangu which you promised. Car wash voucher yako iko tayari nakuja utapata Benen K. You can pick it anytime. Abzu Amboy anasema na hizo majins zenu tight na amecheka. Alright. Mazi K Kialo anasema vision, value and integrity. KB anasema so inspiring, thank you so much. Masike Kialo anasema well said. Coach Lesiaro Lete anasema I learned a lot from RB as a young parent.
Amen.
I'm happy to hear those testimonies.
Amen.
Janet Soka anasema NK, it's true we parents are pampering our children by calling them kamam, kababa and failing to play our role. Wamesema kuna kitu abushu and failing to play our role as parents. Our men also need to wake up and play their role as good father figures to their children. Congrats to all responsible Congrats to all responsible men and ho to the sugar daddies and the hyenas who are spoiling our children. Miss those days when child discipline was empowered by the whole community. From Kiambu County, the grace of God is sufficient. I love children. It takes a village to raise a child. Wow. Amen. What are your thoughts on the men? Because women are complaining that men are not taking the mantle.
We cannot paint all the men in one brush, with one brush rather, because some men have stepped up to the plate and are doing that which they're supposed to do. But of course, we do have a few bad apples that have sired children taken off from their responsibility, sleeping around with many multiple partners. But I'm not the one to paint people in one brush. Yes, there are a few who are spoiling for the many who are doing a good job. But having said that, we also have women who are using their children as AK-47 to finish the men. You understand? What you got to understand is that there's some men who want to step up to the plate and the women are denying them access. And then the women go on platforms and say, but he's refusing to take responsibility. So yeah, we have bad apples, both in men and women. But let's concentrate and build the good ones and overshadow the bad ones. But still, Mr. Bitok, we must have the conversation. I'm hoping by the grace of God to do...
We had agreed by the way to do a men's conference.
Yes.
I think we need to think about that again.
I did one earlier this year. It went very well. We need to do another one. But I also feel we need to do a youth summit this December. But the problem is that many people don't want to deal with matters youth because they don't have the spending power. So there's nothing in it for them. But I do believe there's a remnant. I do believe there's somebody who will say, you know what? I don't want anything in return. All I want to do is to be a part of changing lives. And that's what we need. And there are men and women of goodwill. And I think we should do it and speak it as we feel it and say the truth so that we save this generation. Government is not doing it. Churches are not doing it. Schools are not doing it. But you know what? We can do it.
All right.